On December 10th, 2014, I was diagnosed with a chronic behavioral disorder. Here are a couple of my symptoms. First, an infatuation with Ryan Gosling. Second, an insatiable thirst for Starbucks drinks. Third, binge watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I know. And lastly, the urge to wear overpriced moccasins, otherwise known as Uggs. I'll skip the complicated scientific vocabulary, but in colloquial terms, you could say that I was basic. Basic. Someone who uninterestingly follows convention. And in context of teenage girls in the Silicon Valley, it means that you live in yoga pants, wear North Face religiously, and will defend One Direction to the fiery death. Okay, so these symptoms may seem pretty severe or even life-threatening, but I can assure you that I'm only one out of countless other representations of this stereotype, a product of my society's judgments and expectations for people in my age and gender group. Now, although we tell each other not to judge a book by its cover, it's kind of impossible not to. From the moment we've walked into this room, we all have been judging each other. And you, probably me. I can guess what some of you may have thought about me. An Asian speaker, well, she's probably good at math, or some kind of classical instrument. Okay. Well, just thinking this isn't necessarily wrong, because all you're doing is taking your immediate visual perception of me and coupling that with what society tells you is true about my race. And if that's all you've been able to discern through your contexts and experiences, fine. I can't really blame you. However, I can tell you now that I am a walking contradiction to all of these assumptions. First of all, I am not a mathematical genius. Second, I have found it possible for my dad to sleep through every single one of my middle school concerts. But on the bright side, even if I don't live up to the expectations of my race, thankfully society tells people that racism is bad. And therefore, people don't outwardly project their expectations and judgments towards the way that they act around me. But society tells us to view judgment a little differently in the hyper-competitive community of Silicon Valley high schools. In our community, many students are afraid of not reaching what I like to call Palo Alto perfection. People are terrified of not winning the game, and this game, if you were not aware of it, is about comparing and judging ourselves to affirm the belief that we are better, that society and colleges can accept us because we have a higher GPA, because we slept less hours, because we took the smarter classes that require more work, that we're athletic and attractive, and that we have more likes on our profile picture, as if these things were some kind of accurate, quantifiable gauge of our self-worth. And what's more, not only do we have to win, we feel like we need to be winning effortlessly, superhumanly. So we lie to our peers and we say, yeah, that 30-page paper over the weekend, yeah, I spent like 10 minutes on that. I got an A on it. Yeah, that's true. It sounds stupid and unhealthy and obviously unachievable because nobody is perfect. But can you really blame us? I mean, we've all heard the spiel about how hard it is to get into college these days and how much stress it's caused students. And this isn't a problem that's just restricted to the Silicon Valley community either. All over the country, elite colleges and their admissions offices say that if you play your cards right, if you can win the game, you can be that 8% of applicants. This kind of mentality can breed an unhealthy, unanimous, and tacit disapproval for failure, or anything short of academic excellence. It creates a mental block that can keep students from being passionate about things that they actually might care about because they're too scared that colleges won't find it good enough. So, don't hate on the player, hate on the game. The problem isn't with an individual for being judgmental, nor is it with the fact that we're judgmental at all. The problem is with the way that we apply our judgments and expectations to those around us. See, society may say that racism is bad, but how does it tell us to judge other things, like dyslexia, eating disorders, stress? There are still many issues that haven't had as much of a conventional response as racism, yet they are so prevalent in our society. For example, suicide rates have been steadily increasing from 1999 onwards, and according to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, suicide accounts for more years of life lost right after cancer and heart disease. And in our community, 2 students recently just took their lives. And we've shown that we don't really know how to respond, interpret, or judge situations like these. How did we respond? Well, we covered social media in potentially glorifying and potentially triggering posts to somebody who might have suicidal or depressing thoughts. We need to now reevaluate the way that we judge and respond to our actions so that we can be more impactful. We can start by personally reaching out to our friends to let them know that, hey, I'm here for you, I care for you. We want to let each other know that we care about them, but oftentimes aren't very good at expressing it. I think what's observably consistent in our community is a habit of not being very socially open with each other. I think I speak for a lot of individuals when I say that we kind of live in a self-inflicted paradox, where when we feel down, we feel like we want to tell our friends about our issues. But at the same time, we're scared that they'll judge us. We're scared that they'll think we're emotional, that we're needy, that we're not winning the game. And that drives us not to tell them about our problems, but ironically, telling them about how we feel when we're down is what will bring us closer together. It's what will nurture genuine, meaningful, and impactful relationships. Ironically, we think that we can keep our friends closer by not connecting on a deeper level with them. This is my call to action to you. I believe that we really do care about our friends, we just haven't been able to show that. According to a survey that I conducted amongst my peers of over 300 people, I found that an overwhelming majority of people don't compliment their friends unless it were necessary, unless their friends had shown enough distress that they were obligated to say something. Reinforcing others that, yes, it's good and okay to be just the way you are doesn't happen often enough. Even something as simple as hugging, which is proven to release oxytocin, which helps build trust and foster friendships, is only exhibited once a day by 14% of the student population. We clearly have shown that we have not bred an environment where we can positively reinforce one another in even the most simplest of ways through hugging and complimenting one another. But it doesn't take too much. It only takes 2 seconds to hug somebody, half a second to sincerely care about someone when you ask them, hey, how are you doing? We need to start by internally accepting the fact that we need to maybe reconsider the way that we judge our friends and how we act around them. We need to be aware of the power of judgments because, as evidenced by my evolution into a basic Silicon Valley girl, judgments are very powerful in their ability to shape who we are. We need to be aware of this power so that we can further work to break stereotypes, unrealistic expectations, and work to construct a healthier society. Thank you.